The third principle of the Singapore way that I would like to highlight is partnership. We have consistently been advocating this partnership for years. As Mr. Murali-Pillay pointed out, this is not just this budget, but also past budgets, which had partnership as a key element. In Budget 2016, our theme was Partnering for the Future. In 2017, it was Moving Forward Together, and in 2018, it was Together, a Better Future. Previous finance ministers have had different ways of titling their budget speeches, but partnerships, working together, has always been key to our policies. As Professor Fatima Latif put it, partnerships to prosper involves partnerships at all levels, globally, regionally, and in Singapore, in our businesses and in the community. Partnerships are also important for the arts community, as Mr. Terence Ho shared. We seek to be friends to all and build strong international partnerships for mutually beneficial outcomes, and we've been steadily strengthening our partnerships. Free trade agreements allow our businessmen access to other markets, and this is particularly important in this period where there's significant trade tensions. Defense agreements allow ministries to build mutual understanding. Collaborations between officials and businesses build goodwills and better people-to-people connections. Examples are Suzhou Kendor, the Chongqing Connectivity Initiative, Iskandar Malaysia, and the new state capital of Andhra Pradesh. But of all partnerships that we build, the most foundational ones are the partnerships within Singapore. A strong and united Singapore enables us, both governments and our people, to build strong partnerships elsewhere. A strong and united Singapore assures our partners around the world that we can be taken at our word and will not cycle back on our commitments due to domestic divisions. A strong and united Singapore also sends a clear signal of our will and resolve to defend our sovereignty and safeguard our vital interests. One key partnership within Singapore is our tripartite arrangement, which is a unique strength for Singapore. We must build on this and strengthen partnerships between the government, firms, and unions. Firms must build deeper capabilities together with their workers. The workers benefit from better jobs and better pay. A skilled, committed workforce gives firms a competitive edge. And this is a smart thing to do. We'll continue to provide support to firms which more directly link their company's growth and transformation with capability building for their workers, such as in the changes we made to the Enterprise Development Grant and the Productivity Solutions Grant. I'm glad to hear about SNEF's efforts to help employers implement responsible employment practices as a means to enhance competitiveness and sustain business growth. I'm pleased to hear NTUC Secretary General Mr. Ng Chee Meng and Senior Minister of State Koh Poh Koon talk about NTUC's plans, such as setting up of training committees and partner companies to build worker capabilities. Our unions are not just into advocacy. Our unions take concrete and meaningful action, which makes a difference to our firms and workers. Our trade associations and chambers, as representatives of firms, have an important role to play in this effort. So I'm glad to see more stepping up over the past few years. For example, through its networks with the global water community, the Singapore Water Association introduced Imagine H2O, a leading water innovation accelerator in San Francisco, to local industry players. And this led to exchanges of ideas on commercializing innovative water technologies between our firms and Imagine H2O's startups. This association is also working with ESG to immerse Imagine H2Os into the local water ecosystem. As an outcome from this exchange, Imagine H2O has assessed Singapore to be a strategic location to set up its presence for the Asian market and is in the midst of establishing presence here. I was glad to hear Mr. Douglas Fu's affirmation that the trade associations and chambers remain committed to enhancing the business community's capabilities and collaborating with member firms, the government, and the labour movement. And I support his call, I quote, TACs to further break down individual walls and work with one another to accelerate our common national interest, unquote. The enhancements to LEAD, which I announced this budget, will further strengthen the role that TACs play. We invest in building an environment to help firms with capabilities thrive through steady investments in R&D and strengthening economic linkages to the region. This builds on our comparative advantages to help us as an economy to excel. To do so in a way which works for each sector, we bring relevant stakeholders together to drive transformation through ITMs and ITM cluster strategies. We also take an enterprise-centric approach, which focuses on issues faced by firms at each stage of growth. This tailored and targeted approach allows our economic schemes to yield better results. For firms which are ready to scale up and compete on a global scale, we provide more customized support. This is to help them identify and overcome the unique challenges they face and scale their businesses quickly. I announced the Scale Up SG program and the Pilot's Innovation Agents program this budget, which will help in this area. Mr. Liang Yinghua asked if the customized approach of the Scale Up SG program meant that the government is picking winners. This is not the case. The customized support that we provide is available to companies that show ambition and are willing to take the effort to transform themselves to scale up quickly. This support comes on top of many schemes which are accessible to firms, small and micro. For example, schemes which help firms adopt digital technology solutions, such as Start Digital Pack under SMEs Go Digital, and where there are market gaps, we provide support, such as through the Enterprise Financing Scheme, to provide financing for younger and smaller firms. These schemes, together with a wide range of schemes under the Startup SG branding, provide a strong base of support for startups, which Mr. Nispoa asked about. Now, as pointed out by Ms. Rahayu Mazam, many Singaporeans and businesses have demonstrated their care and concern for fellow Singaporeans through their good work over the years. TSMP Law Corporation is one such example. In addition to providing pro bono legal services for the disadvantaged, the firm also regularly partners VWOs to contribute time and dollar to a broad range of causes and activities. VWOs like Ang Mo Kio FSC, SPD, and Empower Aging have also done an excellent job in serving a broad range of needs in the community. And as Mr. Nispoa said, their reach extends beyond what the government can do. So I thank them for their efforts, their hard work, and more importantly, hard work in reaching out. To help them to continue deepening their capability and increase the impact of the good work they do, for instance, we started the VWO Charities Capability Development Fund in 2002 to help VWOs train their staff, expand their reach, and serve people better. In 2017, we set aside $100 million for the fourth tranche of the VWO Charities Capability Fund, or VCF. The 250% tax deduction that we offer today on qualifying donations is also one of the most generous tax deduction schemes worldwide. Jurisdictions like Hong Kong, the US, and Australia provide only 100% tax deductions for corporate and individual donations. Matching grant schemes like the new Bicentennial Community Fund, which I announced, will also catalyze more funding to our IPCs. Together with a 250% tax deduction, every dollar raised will draw a government contribution of up to $3.50. The Minister for Culture, Community and Youth will elaborate on our efforts to support philanthropy and volunteerism at the COS. We'll keep Singapore safe and secure together. That's another important part of our partnership. So I'm heartened that MPs like Mr. Henry Kwek, Mr. Dara David, Mr. Dennis Tan, Mr. Muhammad Ishad, and Mr. Vikram Nair appreciate the geopolitical situation that Singapore is in and support our commitment to make sustained investments in our security and defense capabilities. We have good men and women in our security forces and diplomatic corps, but they cannot be everywhere or protect every flank. Every Singaporean has a part to play through national movements like SG Secure. We must stay alert, stay united, and stay strong against threats, be it terrorism or cyber warfare. Everyone must play a part in total defense. And we'll find the best way forward together. But no one, not you, not me, not the government, has all the answers. Today, we consult, engage, and partner relevant stakeholders when formulating policy. So I'm glad Associate Professor Walter Teixeira and Mr. Ang Wei Neng have spoken about the importance of feedback for more inclusive policy making for the better of our society. There's always room for improvement, and Mr. Ang has given robust feedback which our agencies will take seriously. But we must not stop at just making criticism, but reach out to one another. Recognize that we may have different views, but we can work together and find the middle ground and find the right way. We will tackle our challenges and construct better solutions together.